Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about EMPYREAN SANDS and how to actually get it done. This is a dungeon that always gives everybody a lot of headache, so I thought it was a really good thing to just break down and explain how we did it. And I hope it's just useful to somebody out there. So if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe and yeah, stream this on YouTube and Twitch also. So be sure to pop in and say hi. Okay, let's jump in. For talents in Sands, I would go Erasure. As I always say in every video, I think the damage and the healing you get from Erasure for being a 2-point talent is amazing, and I will always recommend taking Erasure. Uchronia is another talent that I will think it's mandatory. Every 3 Chrono spells that you do, the next one is free. This allows you to a lot of times cleanse Stagger for free, which is your most expensive ability, right? The AoE cleansing Stagger, and it just synergizes really well with Aeona's Kid. On row 3, we take Hastening Doom and Synchronicity. Hastening Doom, another talent that synergizes very well with Aeona. Once you do Doom, you get 20% extra haste. Your Doom is active for a long time. You want to dump a lot of spells, or as many spells as possible during your Doom window. So it just synergizes really, really well. Synchronicity is another talent that is really good, but I would just say that it doesn't have the value of the other talents. So if I would actually need a more defensive build, I'll probably drop Synchronicity. But it also allows you to do some nice damage or Chrono generation when you're below 50%, which is really nice. And then on row 4, we take Surging Chrono, another talent that I think for a 1-pointer is really, really valuable. You get 60 Chrono every time you do Fleeting Hour. So it's just a really good button to press. Now it makes it even better. Like Fleeting Hour is a really, really good button to press, but it makes it even better. Oblivion's Embrace, aside from the damage that you get from Oblivion's crits, you also take the shield, which actually the shield in this dungeon has a lot of value since it Sands has this AoE. And then finally for defensive talents, I would take Echoes of Divinity and Magic Word. As you've realized, I did not take Chrono Tap. I don't think you need the mana talent for this boss. There is enough damage and enough stagger cleanse that you will not have any issues with mana. And that's why we end up going with Magic Word instead, to also have a bit of survivability on the boss, which is really, really needed since you are a very squishy character. And then here's what I mean. If there was a point where I'm not surviving the boss, I would drop Synchronicity and take Spirit Fortune and probably Vestige of Truth, so your self-healing is increased by 20%. There is a case of Quickening. Quickening is also not a bad talent. Also throughout the trash bags, it gives you a little bit of an oh shit button to heal the tank, to heal yourself. I've not played a lot with Quickening. I don't know how much uptime does it actually have, because you don't really use Time Shard that often, but it might be a talent that it will be worth to play around. I would probably start with Vestige of Truth and then maybe move to Quickening if I saw that Vestige of Truth was not needed, or if Quickening gave me more value, etc. And that's it. Let's go talk about weapon. For weapon in Sands, I still run Skybolt. I think Skybolt is probably the best weapon you can have in Aeona. For my master trait, I have Diamond Strike, pretty much for the damage, even though it offers some healing as well. Mainly for the damage, it does a lot of damage. For my hero traits, I'm running Kindling and Inspire Allegiance. Kindling is, again, just a really good damage buff. And then Inspire Allegiance is just really, really good altogether. It gives haste in AoE and it gives a lot of cooldown reduction to your weapon. Then for defensive trades, I'm running the Cheat Death, which is, I think it has a lot of value in this dungeon, and if you have the gold for it, you should level it up. And then King of the Hill, which is not an amazing trait for this dungeon, but I didn't need anything else, so I just ran with this. However, there's a better defensive trait that you can get here. That's against all odds. It's the new trait. So having Cheat Death and against all odds works very well in this dungeon. Against all odds provide you with a 40% DR on max level. And every 15 seconds this can proc, which means that it can proc on the first orbs popped by the tank with the beam, and then on the last orbs that you let explode. So that's a lot of DR coming through. And then for a master trait, if you're still having issues with survivability, because Aeona is a pretty squishy character, there is another master trait that you can run, which is Martial Initiative. Provides you with a 15% DR every time you use your weapon ability. So every time you use Skybolt, you get a 15% DR and a little bit of main stat, but you would mainly use this for the DR that you get. For 31, I did not need any of this. I think Against All Odds is a very obvious choice that you could just make. If I had the gold to reroll, I would. I think Martial Initiative makes you drop a lot more than Against All Odds does. does. Like against the odds is probably the best thing you can have right now. I just didn't roll for it yet. March Initiative is just a last resort. Removing Diamond Strike for it is costly. If it makes you survive, it's probably worth it. For Gems and Sands, we're running the classic setup, nothing changes. Crit's still very, very valuable for Aeona. The red tree makes it really good for boss. Haste is just perfect for us, and the 2 diamond are for fucking up our Diamond Strike Master Trade. The only thing I would say, however, here is that I'm really sad that we cannot go 10 haste or even a little bit more haste, because the defensive trade from the haste tree is so much better than defensive trade that you get from the crit tree for the boss. But unfortunately, I think the crit is more value right now than haste does. But if you are finding yourself and you've tried everything else, maybe just going up on the haste tree for a little bit, dropping on the crit tree and going up on the haste tree might give you a little bit more survivability, since every time you're below 50% health, you heal 24% health of your maximum health instantly. So this proc before your cheat death or before your death, if something would kill you, this will actually heal you before you die, and if the heal is enough, it will make you survive, and that's why it's very valuable. But I am not sure if it's worth dropping all the crit for that. First of all, I'm sorry I fucked up with sound in game, so there's no in-game sound. I screwed up with the video, I'm sorry. You got some nice background music. But anyway, so let's just speed this up. We skip everything on the first part. We do the Sentinel round where we use the Sentinel mobs to just kill everything around it with the dot that they put on everyone. So here we Shroud, we skip everything, and then we go to the first Sentinel on the bottom next to the lake. Let's just speed it up. It's Shrouding, there's nothing special about it. And then here's when we do our first pull. There's a Sentinel, the purple man, and then, well, I get the freezing thing, so I just do it, and then soon here the Sentinel does this, and this route puts a lot of strain into the tank, right? You always have to bear in mind that no one else needs to be in this. Try to dispel the tank as much as possible. Mass Dispel is very valuable in this dungeon, even if it doesn't do anything on the boss. When you take this route, it's really good to have to just dispel and have an extra dispel button pretty much. Later on you pull a few acolytes and they put this nasty dot as well, so having a master spell is actually really valuable in this dungeon. But yeah, this is all we do. The tank tanks them on the edge, we just get away from the sizzling pools that they drop on us, and then you just have to survive. If you survive long enough, the Sentinel dot will kill everything. It's fine if you just proc cheat death here. Try for the tank to not proc cheat death. Again, I think something like Against All Odds does a really good job here. And that's it. You just have the Sentinel alive at the end, just kill it off. Hits a lot more HP than all the other mobs, and then you do this fancy skip over here where you just get up here on the rocks and then you jump, so you don't have to pull the Magi and the Acolyte pack there on the bridge, because it's really illegal. Like, it's a really nasty pack to pull. So this is how you do it. You can also just bring a portal to do the skip easier. And here we pull another Sentinel and another Sentinel. So we have 2 Sentinels here. One of our DPSs here runs into the fire to get it, because they don't run into combat. And then they get the fire in case we die. Even if you die, if the tank dies or anyone dies, as long as the combat is still going and the dot is still ticking, a lot of the times we have killed the pack with the tank dead because the dot is still ticking. So bear in mind that don't give up if someone dies. Revive and keep going. As long as someone is alive, kiting or anything, the dot might kill everything. So yeah, here we go. I just use my silence to silence both acolytes, and then we just use the dot to kill everything. As you can see, everything is dying super fast, but this pull is really nasty on the tank. He takes a lot of damage, so you just have to focus real hard on making the tank survive. There you go, and then the pull keeps dying. Boom, boom, boom. We take the archers as well. We don't take them at the beginning because it's hard to gather them. So this is just a much safer option to do. And then we're gonna get our first Shadow Lord here. I can just skip a little bit this. I'm just trying to gather all the orbs. I know the tank is not in danger anymore. We tried to use the Sentinel. This you can also do. Use the Sentinel on the Shadow Lord to make it go faster. It does, however, give haste to the Shadow Lord, and the ticks of the Shadow Lord will go faster as well. So you take more damage per second. But also the Shadow Lord just dies faster. So if you have ult, if you have damage, which you should, because all your damage should be going into this. Okay, so then we do one more pull over here where we try to gather everything again on a Sentinel. So just having the Sentinel do the AoE, have everything. I'll just use the eyes there for stunning. Everything on inside there. Now we have the acolytes debuffs going off. I do have master spell, but I choose not to use it because it's not a dangerous spot right now. Again, we have the AoE, and now everything is dead thanks to the AoE. This route is a little bit more complicated. You need to get used to it. You need to get like know about it, but it's just like so much faster once your tank pretty much and your healer gets used to it. Here we use the Grid Sentinel one more time for the pack on the bridge. This should have been pulled earlier. In theory, you really want this Sentinel to stay alive so you can actually gather him to the next pull. So what you would do here is everything should be dead except Sentinels, and it has more HP, but since our bridge patrol was in a really bad spot, we pulled it late. What we should have done is wait to pull everything together when the bridge patrol was closer or in a better spot. And then when everything is dead except the Sentinel, you kill yourself. You jump off the cliff next to me, like behind me, and then you come here, get the Sentinel and take him to the last pack where the Magi is. But yeah, here we unfortunately cannot keep the Sentinel alive, so we're just like whatever, we just go to the next pack and do it the good old fashioned way. Here we chicken the Magi, and in theory here you should have a Sentinel right, which would make this pull a lot easier, but we don't. It's not a really hard pull, especially when you chicken the Magi. It's just like kill, 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 boom, 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 boom. Only the tank should be taking damage here. You should not get hit by frontals, you should not get hit by arrows, traps or anything. It's just like it hurts a tank here. And let me just go a little bit faster because I didn't realize how long this pulls take without the Sentinel. God dang. And yeah, once we kill all this, I start gathering Orbeez so we can spawn the Shadow Lord as soon as possible. There you go, we can spawn the Shadow Lord with the chicken, and then we kill the Shadow Lord and we go boss. We move it so we're closer to boss as possible. We are as close to boss as possible. And here I'm gonna start slowing it down so we can go into boss. So here I just doom and dump all my things, all the damage I can. Since we have the Shadow Lord buff, I want to do as much damage as possible, right? The only thing you need to be careful here, the tank sometimes needs a little bit of love in here. The frontal actually does hurt quite a bit, and then you just have to be careful where you're standing and be safe. Also try to follow your team. It's never good to not be with your team. Especially not now so much, but especially when it comes to orb exploding. And here, this is when the hard part of the dungeon comes, right? So here we kill one orb already. I'm getting the freezing, which is actually not the best for Aeona because we're so squishy, right? And we're gonna pop 2 more orbs here, so this is an actually dangerous spot for me because the freezing also does damage. But it's fine, it's not that bad. Keep doing Oblivion. As you can see, we are still all 100%. We all have stagger, but we are all 100%, so Oblivion will actually give me a lot of value. I do Oblivion until I get a Uchronia, and then when I get the free Prone ability use, I will use it to AoE cleanse the stagger, and I still get shields because we are still in theory 100% HP even if we have stagger. Here I have the free proc already. I have the Uchronia done, so I'm not using Oblivion anymore. I'm doing Time Shard, I'm doing the Doom now, and I'm waiting for a few more orbs to pop. So our stagger is a bit deeper. There one popped and I clicked on the AoE stagger. I'm now again full on Chrono, and I can start clicking on Oblivion so I can start building up shields again, and I can also start building up my next Uchronia, which is going to be a free cast of AoE cleanse stagger, right? So there is one Oblivion. I do Barrage as well. I know I have Synchronicity, so this will do a lot more damage. Another Oblivion, which makes me have shields. And then a last Oblivion, which means that now I have my Uchronia proc. I just use it for an Oblivion here. I agreed out for just using it on an Oblivion. I probably should have kept it because I should have seen that the orbs are gonna pop, and it was gonna be a lot more value to just save it for the AoE cleanse. Against all odds, pretty much makes my DPS survive. As you can see, it procs, and they don't die because of it. Here I'm just probably spamming Oblivion like crazy to get my free AoE stagger cleanse. I know I have time here to actually do the Oblivion spam before the things explode. I'm probably panicking here, and now I have the AoE cleanse which I'm spamming, and I will do right before the orbs explode. So betting on Oblivion spamming instead of using 50 Chrono on the AoE cleanse is worth it here, but it was very close. I will let you know. It was very close. Here I get the shield from Xavian, so I can survive the rest of the orb explosion, which is not a lot. We just have 2 left. We had a lot of damage going out. I believe our Larian had ult, so we actually cleaned a lot of the orbs, which is okay. As long as you can heal it, it makes you do more damage to the boss. It's okay to do. Here we have the last 2 exploding, and then here I don't do AoE cleansing anymore. I will just do Oblivion as much as possible. Maybe a single target cleanse on the tank for this beam. There you go. And then it's just Oblivion spam to heal the stagger damage. You don't cleanse the stagger anymore. I eat a little pull because they're tasty. Then we have Penumbra. So this is just a easy way of the boss. We can skip this a little bit, go faster until we get the next Orbis. So here we got the next Orbis stores, whatever. And then first of all, we get the beam. We're gonna pop 3 on the beam. Here the tank is getting the freezing, so it's probably safe. Then here I do Oblivion 3 times. Everybody has shield. I got my free AoE cleanse. I doom, and then I do the AoE cleanse after the 3 stars have been popped. And then here again I start gathering Krona and then doing Oblivion, and then I have my free one again here. I might use it on Oblivion because there are not very many stars low yet, so I might just start healing and putting shields on people, or maybe I save it. Both things are actually decent. I use it on Oblivion to get shields up. I'm confident I can get the next free one soon enough. Here we use dice as well, so it should be a lot safer than before. I get the shield from the tank from Xavi, and as you can see my HP has a lot of shield now. And here I do think I'm waiting. Nope, I still Oblivion. So this is how much trust I have on my Oblivion. Actually, I think we didn't draw enough orbs here. How many orbs do we have still alive here? 5 orbs are popping off right now. We killed 1. And we have dice running, and both of my DPS are 100% HP with a little bit of stagger, but a shield on as well. They didn't have against all odds here, which is bad, but I'm assuming they did not click their defensive, or they clicked their defensive before because they got scared when we popped the 3 orbs with the beam. Because this with dice and the shield that they have, 5 orbs should not kill you. But I mean, that's what's good about cheat death, right? Here I cleanse a little bit of stagger because everybody's like full purple. But here again, I'm just going full Oblivion. And then I'm surely gonna ult the next orbs. Will not use it for DPS. I mean, I'm a very greedy man, so I might have just used it for DPS here on my Doom window, and I just spam Oblivion, but no. I actually wait for the Orbis. Here we're gonna pop 3 Orbis again with the beam. And I'm ready with my... Okay, I needed 1 more Oblivion, as you can see here. I tried to get Doom in before the orbs exploded, and it almost bit me in the ass. Against all odds, again, saving people's lives. But there's another mistake happening here, which is we kill a 4th orb on the right here. This orb is gonna die at the same time as these 3 orbs are gonna die, which is unexpected. So I actually, well, I mean, against all odds, sort of makes everybody stay alive. But this could have killed us if we didn't have against all odds. But it got us all very low. And then I was ready with my Uchronia proc. I needed 1 more Oblivion. I did it. And then here I have my Masculine Stagger, which I do. And I'm assuming here I'm gonna ult. And that makes it a little bit easier. I just spam Cleanse Stagger here. We can pop all the Orbis at the same time. And then we're done. We're just left with 2 Orbis. And then pretty much the boss is dead. Yeah. And then I just, again here, spam Oblivion for damage. And then if we get another set of Orbis, we ignore it because boss is slow enough to just kill boss. I don't think we're even gonna get another set. And that's it. GG's.